Hello everyone and welcome back to the Music Dungeon with me, Mac Plays Banjo. Today we are looking at an absolutely legendary video in the bluegrass world. This is Carlton, Hayney, Jimmy Martin, and Bluegrass Pythagoras, which is just a must watch if you are interested in bluegrass or Pythagoras or really anything, because this is just it's really one of those videos you gotta see at least once in your life. Now, Carlton Hayney was a great bluegrass festival promoter and Jimmy Martin was a great bluegrass musician, and this is a sort of TV interview, I believe, where Carlton attempts to explain some things about how Pythagoras inspired Bill Monroe to create bluegrass, and it's a really fascinating explanation. That's all I'm gonna say for now, but it's gonna get a little bit wild, a little wacky in this interview. And what we're going to do as intrepid explorers on the Bluegrass Pythagoras side of YouTube is we are going to go into this and try and figure out what Carlton is saying and try to extract all the wisdom we can from his explanations about Pythagoras and Bill Monroe. And I have total confidence that we will be able to figure out some things from this video, to take some lessons home, improve as Pythagorean bluegrassers. That'd be kind of a fun bluegrass band name, like Pythagoras Grass or something. Most people would have no idea what they were talking about, but like the real ones would understand and think it was hilarious. If you're starting a bluegrass band, you got that name for free. Just make sure to credit me. Anyways, we're gonna dive right into it and learn about Pythagoras. By the way, this is the OG cat, Biscuit. Biscuit, look at the camera. There we go. She's been hiding here in the music dungeon to try and avoid the new cat because she is terrified of him, and also her face looks perpetually angry now. Yeah, it didn't before. I don't know, she's really scared of this new cat for some reason. But yeah, a lot of people were talking about the cat in the background, so yeah, now you know both of the cats. You'll never know which one is going to be in the next video. Whoa. All right, let's get into it, shall we?
What you do, just get in timing and be there with it, and you'll have it.
I've seen a many young boy that went to work with you. You'd have to stop in the song, get him in time, right?
Yeah, I still do that.
Oh, you have to. You can't do it without it, and he can't do it because he ain't never learned it. You got to take him in a room like Bill did Chubby and Earl Scruggs and Lester Flatt and teach it to him.
I'm going to tell you right now, you can go all around in these festivals. You'll never see a man that was a mandolin and walk to a place that had the rhythm that Bill Monroe had or the rhythm that Paul Williams had.
The rhythm is bluegrass.
Yeah.
It's different from everything
from
else.
the heart.
See?
And they ain't got it.
Now, I'm going to tell you something on this thing that's never been told and published yet. And his first time he's or anybody else has ever heard it. There's 5 instruments in bluegrass music. The bass is in 1 octave, the guitar's in 1 octave, the banjo's in 1 octave, and the fiddle and the mandolin are in the high octave. Octave is a 10.
You heard it here first, dobro players. You are not you are not in bluegrass.
A Greek mathematician set that up. Now them
You're
4.
talking about instruments.
Yeah.
Now, me and Bill was
Wait,
higher,
let me tell this,
higher
well,
than the
well,
instruments.
they don't
we
tape
got
it.
that high lonesome sound.
Let me tell you something. The bass is in the bottom octave, the guitar next, the banjo, then Monroe's mandolin and fiddle, Chubby or whoever. Monroe never let 2 instruments play in the same octave.
I mean, sort of. There's a lot of overlap between the ranges of those instruments. There are definitely times when the banjo, mandolin, and fiddle are all in the same octave register, right? And guitar and banjo too some of the time. So it's not like they're totally separate, right? But I see what he's trying to say.
When the fiddle played, he didn't have nothing to do, so he started playing time. That's the secret of bluegrass. Keep every instrument in a separate octave. Because Pythagoras set it up and gave the A note 440 vibrations.
Well, that's kind of historically inaccurate, but you know, we'll get back to that.
If an octave is doubling, the A underneath that would be 220 vibrations. The next 110 and the next 55. The 3rd string on the bass is an A string. It vibrates 55 times a second when you tune it. The 5th string on his guitar is A. It vibrates 110 times when you get in tune. The banjo A is 220 vibrations. The 2nd string on Monroe's mandolin and Chubby Wise's fiddle is A, 440 vibrations. And Monroe kept every instrument in a separate octave, creating 4 separate octaves going up. And that's what bluegrass music is, and you got it for the first time. It's in my book I'm writing on Monroe's life.
I see right now.
That was confusing. That was pretty confusing. So dividing up the instruments by octaves has obviously been happening for a lot longer than bluegrass, right? Like 4-string quartets, that's been happening for hundreds of years. And I mean, dividing different instruments by pitch class has probably been happening for as long as music has been, because, you know, we have roughly like the 4 most common vocal ranges, right? The soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. And then instruments are just kind of copying those 4 ranges to create a full a full sound over a fairly large chunk of the spectrum that we can hear and sounds good. Pythagoras didn't set up A440 tuning. That didn't happen until like 100 years ago or so, I think. Okay, so formal adoption occurring in 1939, so a little less than 100 years ago, which Pythagoras lived a little bit further back than that, if he existed at all. I think Pythagoras has supposedly lived like 2,500 years ago or something, so he didn't set up A440. He did a lot of work with tuning, if he did exist, which I think he keeps going into Pythagoras, so we'll get into that if he does, but yeah, Pythagoras was definitely interesting. He just didn't set up A440.
That Gibson has been losing business, but Earl Scruggs has helped him out. But they got the wrong leader in there. You know more about instruments than anybody I know of. Gibson ought to hire you and put you on a poster.
Boy. But you see, that's the...
Jimmy Martin is so savage in this video. I love it. He's like, I can't tell if he's mad, because like he gets angry at Carlton and then he starts laughing. It's great.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, he created 12 notes of music. Pythagoras did. When you get to the 13th one, you double the vibration. And he made mathematical formulas for chords.
Okay, that's a little bit inaccurate, Carlton. What Pythagoras did was he was very interested in the ratios between frequencies and why different ratios sounded better to our ears than other ratios did. So an octave is a 2-to-1 ratio, right? And because that ratio is so simple, it sounds like the same note to our ears, just displaced an octave. No, no. See, they'll sound like the same note, they're just one of them's higher than the other. But every different combination of notes is a different ratio, and by and large, the simpler the ratio is, the more consonant or like good it sounds to our ears. And the more complex the ratio, the more dissonant or bad it sounds. What Pythagoras allegedly did was he took a string and he would divide it into different ratios to find the different tones that would be produced with those ratios of string length. So a 2-to-1 string length would do the octave. A 3-to-2 ratio is just a little bit more complex. Da, da. And what Pythagoras did was he took that 3-to-2 ratio and then kept repeating it. So da would be the original pitch, and then da would be the new pitch. Then he would take the new pitch, or the shortened string, right, and do the same thing to that one. So the new pitch, da, would go da, da, which is another 3-to-2 ratio. Then if you keep doing that, you get 12 separate pitches, which all sound pretty good with each other because they're all based on the same simple fraction, which sounds good with each other. And then if you keep going, you get 12 pitches, and then it will circle back to a note which is not quite the original pitch you had. The 13th pitch will just be a tiny bit sharp of the original pitch, I think, and 7 octaves up. And because of that little indiscrepancy, which is called the Pythagorean comma, we have had thousands of years of arguments about how to tune instruments properly so that they sound the best. But that's a topic for another video. Then you take those 12 pitches that you discovered through the 3-to-2 ratio method and you rearrange them by displacing them with the various octaves that they need, and you get the 12 notes that are on like the piano. Anyways, that was just like a super in a nutshell rushed explanation. Hopefully it made a little bit more sense than Carlton Hayney's, but there's some really good YouTube videos about that you can look up where they explain it better than I did. The best one is by Oliver Lugg, I think. I'll put the link in the description. But yeah, that was Pythagoras' real contribution to music, which was all in tuning and not really in splitting up instruments by octaves, because they didn't really have many instruments back then that we know of. So anyways.
Out of the 12 notes, 1, 5, and 8 is every major chord. Whatever one
what?
is, put
1, 5, and 8 is a major chord?
12 notes, 1, 5, and 8 is every major chord. Whatever one is, put the 5th note and 8th note with it, and you're making that major chord.
Wait, so he can't be speaking diatonically. So is he saying chromatic? Yeah, so that's a little bit confusing because he's he's speaking chromatically when he's saying 1, 5, and 8, which isn't usually how we speak about it. A major chord you would typically think of being 1, 3, and 5, right? But he's going 1. Instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, he's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's a little bit confusing, but we're following along. We're following along.
If you lower the 5th one down to the 4th one, you're making a minor chord.
Sure, yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is a minor chord.
Leave it down and lower 8 to 7, you're making a diminished chord.
Yeah.
Okay, this guy knows some theory. So this guy, he knows some theory. He does.
Go back to your major chord and raise 8 to 9, you're making an augmented chord.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Very cool. Augmented chords are kind of rare. So I'm a little bit slower on those than I should be.
Raise it to a 10, double augmented. And when
Whoa, double augmented? I mean, that's just like a sixth chord. I've never heard of double augmented chords. Is that actually a thing? Yeah, I'm not finding anything about it. I mean, you could say that. It's just kind of weird when you could just call it a sixth chord.
Sung Sweetheart of Mine, Can't You Hear Me Calling? How many times when Mac Wiseman that high note, he raised the tenor 2 half tones to a double augmented fourth, and that's what he sung. And you got to learn that thing. Pythagoras set it all up mathematics.
I would say Gibson music should hire you and let you tell all about it. I want to ask you one thing now. You're talking about high and low. Where did Bill Monroe record Blue Moon in Kentucky? What year?
Oh, I
what
don't
chord?
now I'm not
In
a
A.
music. Oh, okay, in A.
What
He's getting scared.
What chord did he sing, Will You Be Loving Another Man? In A.
Yeah.
Well, when I went with him, everything that him and Lester recorded, that we moved it up in B. Well, after I started singing it all in B, Bill looked and said, well, if you're going to sing them in B, I might as well move Blue Moon in Kentucky up in B. There comes the high lonesome sound. And when he passed away.
Right. I know.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I know
Everything him and Lester done in A, we put it up in B.
Right. Now, well, here's why I did that. One reason.
No, I didn't.
What was the point of that, Jimmy?
I know it, but why he let you do it then? Listen, let me tell you this.
You ain't gonna give me
Wait a
credit
minute.
for nothing, are you?
Pythagoras,
You ain't gonna give me credit for nothing, are you?
Pythagoras took the 12 notes and took a formula and made a scale called diatonic scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
I don't think Pythagoras actually did that, but we'll give him a pass.
And that formula is the first note, go 2 notes, 2 notes, 1 note. 2 notes, 2 notes, 2 notes, 1 note.
I wonder if this dude went to college for for composition or something. He knows some stuff. The stuff he's saying is correct. It's just kind of weirdly communicated.
Now that's the 8 for the diatonic. Now I'm going to blow your mind. Bill Monroe created his own scale. He did not use Pythagoras's. He did B natural. He said B natural every time to these guys. He meant B to C, which is a half tone. He put it first, not fourth in it.
What?
B to C to D to E to F to G to A to B again, and then he raised
Okay, so that's a normal C major scale.
G to G sharp and A to A sharp to
Wait, whoa, what?
B, and he's got 5 half tones at the top, and it makes the tenor shoot up, and that's how he got that high tenor. He created his own scale.
Wait, so he changed the C. Wait, what? So a C major scale with a augmented 5th and 6th? Wait, is he getting confused that the 7th and 6th are flatted? And that'd be like a harmonic minor scale with a major 3rd in it, right? Yeah, I'm not finding anything about that particular scale. That is confusing. What would that sound like? So the normal C major scale would be... And then Bill Monroe's super special secret scale that experts don't want you to know about would be... What? What? That is one heck of a confusing scale. I mean, it's literally just the... If you think of the augmented 5th as 6th as being a diminished 6th and 7th instead, then it's just a natural minor scale with a major 3rd. Lacking the 5th. Yeah, I mean that's cool, I guess. Did Bill Monroe actually use that scale? I have no idea. That's very confusing.
Bluegrass scale is B
I'm
natural.
going to ask you something.
First
What
time
year?
you ever heard this?
What? I'm going to ask
It's definitely the first time I've ever heard that. That's for sure.
you something. What year did he start that B in?
But you went to work for him.
1949.
But
Well, you
Flat-
said he started it.
Well, he told you to do it. He was paying you.
No, he paid. Lester sung. Lester
And you-
Flat.
well,
Lester
listen,
Flat.
Jimmy,
Lester
Lester's
Flat
voice-
sung in
Lester's
A.
Well, Lester was in just a different voice. That ain't nothing. Yours was higher and stronger.
What?
So he put you
Well,
in
what?
B.
He put me in B.
I seen him put Mac Wiseman in C.
No,
And at the
he
Bluegrass
ne-
Festival, he told him
never
to sing in
record-
E.
He never
I didn't
recorded
say
in
record.
B and C till I went with it.
Well, I said I saw Mac Wiseman sing him at the festival. He
Really?
put Mac in C.
Bluegrass Breakdown was in G.
Well, he didn't sing on that.
Hey, rawhide.
This is gonna be me in like in like 45 years. Oh wait, I forgot that I'm a 13-year-old mere beardless boy. This is gonna be me in like 55 years at some bluegrass festival yelling about Pythagoras. You guys watch out for me doing this sort of thing in 45 years.
Jumped up there where we sang and see.
Well, that's fine, because you had the voice. He couldn't do that with James. And another thing,
Now,
Monroe.
you
wait a
said
minute.
I had the voice. Thank you. Give me a little credit.
You have, but Mac Wiseman had one too that was different.
Huh?
Everybody had a different voice. Mine different.
Mac had a different
But
voice.
he sung tenor different with every man. And when he sung with James, because of his soft voice, he softened the tenor. But I'll swear this is true.
Don't lie
He
now.
sung louder with Martin because he was afraid Martin without singing. Now this is the absolute truth, and I'll swear to my God this is. All right, you hush to this. I'll swear to my God this is true. In 1957, I had Reno and Smiley, who I was their manager.
Man, it's getting serious. Look at the emotion in his eyes. Jeez.
As a guest on the Grand Ole Opry. They were in the dressing room with Pickin, and Bill was and all, and Jimmy Martin was at the back door, and they wouldn't let him in. Bill said, go out there and get Jimmy and tell him I want to see him. And I went out there and got him, and they got in the room. I said, y'all sang some of them old songs together. Reno there, Smiley there, Mac McGay, Bobby Hicks, Chubby Wise dressed in the same room because Hank Snow did and all. He asked Jimmy, what do you want to sing? He got a guitar, and he said, Live and Let Live. And they started it. And Monroe stopped it. Reno and Smiley didn't hit it when they did. And he stopped.
Don't start crying. This is so brutal.
And he stopped it, pulled his step up, and was tuning the mandolin and hit it. They started again. Live and let live. Monroe stopped it again and said, let me start it. And when he started it, that's when I heard this time, and that's the very second that the idea for a bluegrass festival flew in my brain. When Jimmy Martin and Bill Monroe were singing in the back of the Grand Ole Opry, and God kill me if that ain't the truth. And I said, I'm going to get them all in the field.
Well, I'll tell you one.
And I went to Monroe and told him I'm going to get all the bluegrass boys in the field and play for 3 days. He said, what for? I said, people will come and say. He said, why, they won't come to a schoolhouse and stay 2 hours. Why would they stay 3 days? I said, I'm going to have bluegrass music. And on Sunday, we're going to do a life story of you. And let all them guys sing with you and see if they can play time like they did when they played with you. He said, you mean I can't play time? I said, no, Bill, I didn't say that. Well, what are you saying? I said, it's different. No, time is time. I play time just like anybody else. He did not know he was different. He did not know he was.
I think that's actually some wisdom from Bill Monroe there. Time is time. I play the time like anybody else. Because what you want to be able to do as a musician is be right on the time. And then once you have the ability to be right on the time perfectly, then you can start, leaning forward and going back, playing with time. But you can't really play out of time with control if you can't play in time first. So what Bill Monroe could do was probably play in time pretty perfectly, and then he started playing with time after that. So I get what Bill Monroe was saying there. That's some wisdom right there.
Because all the musicians down there called him playing offbeat. But he was playing the time beat in between the melody notes.
You know what they've done? They told me to be down here at 12 o'clock. They was going to put me on TV here in Louisville. And I've come down here, and all I've done is stand and listen to you. It's your show, not mine. I'm down here to promote Bean Blossom.
I done talked twice with you.
Hey,
You're on television.
Well, no, you know Dwight Dillman?
Yeah,
they're going to make Bean Blossom the biggest bluegrass festival in the world.
I know.
And they're going to have you there. And let you tell your little story that you...
Look at that dude's face.
I know.
And they're going to have you there.
I think this guy right here is how a lot of people felt listening to this.
And let you tell your little story that you've told.
I know.
And they're going to have you there. And let you tell your little story that you've told right here on TV.
Oh, I finished. I finished.
Huh?
The way Monroe dressed.
Hey, you're going to be there in June with us, ain't you?
I don't know whether next June.
Yeah.
I will try to if you will.
If I don't give you a pill to kill you, because you talk too much. The only thing I don't like about you
Let
on
me
the
tell
show
you,
is you
you
talk
know that
more
picture
than,
I
you
get-
talk and don't let me say nothing.
You know that picture I gave you?
Yeah.
I got 100 different ones. I'll bring them and put them on boards up there and let people look at them.
Okay.
Of the first festival. There's the way Monroe dressed first time I saw him.
I was out in Texas when he bought that. And he said, since you sang with me,
Jimmy Monroe understands the television a little bit better than Carlton, I think, because Carlton was holding it like this, so the camera couldn't really see it, and then Jimmy just grabs it and holds it for the camera.
he bought me a coat and a maroon hat just like that. Said, men, you'll sing on the opera like that right there.
And the first time I saw him, I went with a friend who played mandolin and sung, and I couldn't stand to hear him sing. And when he come in, I said to Red, the boy was me, I said, who is that? That's Bill Monroe. I said, what are you going to do, ride horses or play music? I had no idea. This was 50 years ago in 1948 in Danville, Virginia, when Melissa was staying up there because he was in the car wreck. When she stayed up there, he'd been in the car wreck, and they didn't want her to run into somebody at the hospital.
Yeah.
And they left Senator Clyde Moody's, and I met her, started dating her, and that's how come you here. Because then he asked me to go to work for him. I said, I can't play a second. Well, I'll teach you. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. I went to work with him, was going to be the bass player. Couldn't play a note. He said, just hold it there at the top and start, and you'll learn. I stayed 1 week.
What was that? Wait, what was that laugh? What was that laugh?
At the top and start, and you'll learn. I stayed 1 week and
Was that Jimmy Martin?
play a note. He said, just hold it there at the top and start, and you'll learn. I stayed 1 week and played.
I've never heard a laugh like that in my life. Oh, why was the bass thing so funny to him?
Ain't nothing in Louisville at this festival.
Never moved my hand, never, just ping, ping. Friday night when we started back to Nashville, I thought, is this all I'm going to ever do? Is pull that little string and go home to Melissa. And I said, Mr. Monroe, I don't want to be a musician. Well, why is that? I said, because I don't want to pull that little string and come in here on Saturday night and see Melissa and gone again on Sunday. And I never pinged again, long as I've lived.
Wow. Well, I think we can call that here. I think the Pythagoras talk is done, but I love that video so much. I hadn't watched it in a long time, and every time I've come back to it, just there are just so many gems in there. That's so wonderful. So I hope you enjoyed it. This is some deep bluegrass lore that you need to know about if you're into this music. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go watch my other videos. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.